Right, just doing a video on Britney Spears and my perception and how I interpret what the media's been saying about her and things that I've witnessed over the years, I suppose, through the media and through her music as well, I think. Would be, I've never actually met her, but just saw in the newspaper today how they were pushing a story about her, and I just thought to myself, I'll just give it a different angle because, from looking at her past, you can tell she's been through a lot, and she's struggled, she's fought, you know, so she's been fighting about something, and that deserves credit because she's trying to resist something that's not right within her life. Um, um, yeah, the first time she sort of came on the scene, she was very flamboyant and sort of girly. All the scene was being pushed at the time. Um, nice attributes. Music not to my taste at the time, but seemed to be enjoying what she was doing and the attention and everything. Then later on, noticed she's released quite a few songs which have maybe spoke about different things in her life that have happened as well. She's done one about womanizing, how I suppose maybe the men that she's come across have been of that demeanour and been taken advantage. Then she's been classed as having issues to which she's reacted with music about, issues to do with parents and things, and then went through a stage where she shaved all her hair off. Now, I know a lot of women have done that. Take an example, Sinead O'Connor, a beautiful girl, shaved all her hair off in protest. And credit where credit's due to Sinead, but for Britney to do that as well, I mean, it's and I've known other girls within my locality, and who've done that as a whatever reason they will come across as doing that, but there may also be a hint of protest against how society is being manipulated. And I know certain singers who've done that have had a lot to say, like Sinead O'Connor, and Britney had a very, was on stage making prominent protest about it. And I have a good friend who has certain tracks by Britney Spears and he absolutely loves them. But again, they're protesting songs about the way that she's been treated. And then in this newspaper article today, the article makes out that she blames her dad within her lifetime, apparently, hearing from another person, apparently she has had issues with him before. And then it says he's responsible for me being sectioned and things like that. And certain things being brought into my life. Well, I saw the article and I thought to myself, at the end of the day, that is a mother and a father and a daughter. The father's probably been deceived by whether it be media, perception as to what actually is going on, and the issues that she's bringing up is probably her reaction to her father not doing what she expected him to do. And a lot of people have been deceived and misled, and I think we've got to a point now where it's everywhere. This deception, people being misled, systematic failure, which has crept in, and people who put these ideas into play of how to deal with situations. It's got to a point now where everyone's aware that the damage, the whole generation has been damaged. And it's the sort of thing the Nazis did prior to World War II. And that in itself sort of says to me, is it part of an agenda? So, hands up, Britney being brave and standing out and protesting like she has. I just think her father was, like I say, misled, like many other people have been. Families have been ripped apart by misleading organisations, health groups, deceptions from pharmaceuticals, etc., etc. Councils, every organisation. And then you look at the government and the deception is very clear. There's no one reputable that you look at and think that person would be someone that I would look up to. You tell me. You seriously ask the question. And what seems to be apparent is that lies and certain types of behaviour are manipulating things, and people, as long as they've got their own little clique going on and their own little thing going on, they're content. But anything that goes against that, it's obviously those sort of people being in the system, they're going to react with their systematic teaching, which is business orientated, money driven, not actually looking out for what really matters. Now, there's been a few ruptures, sort of incidents recently, and I've noticed people saying things basically just guarding their own ground, if you like, just standing up for their own self-respect. And because people aren't used to that, it's like they get a reaction like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, which is what all these institutions and groups have been preaching for years, that you shouldn't react in a certain way, that you shouldn't have a temper, that you shouldn't have the right to stand up for yourself, which I know there's a lot of people that totally disagree with that, and have kept stum for a while, you know. But I believe wholeheartedly that people have a right to stand up for what they believe in. People have a right to, because it's a way of caring about people. It's a way of respecting your friends and family, for God's sake, you know. I don't want that to happen to so and so. I don't want that to, you know. But it's like, oh no, you shouldn't react like that. That's not the systematic teaching. Well, the systematic teaching must be bollocks then, mustn't it? That's the conclusion that most of us surely are coming to now, because the entire system is rotten to the core. It seems, I think it's pretty well apparent that that is the case, and looking around, highlighted left, right, and centre. So, yeah. And looking at the character Britney Spears, it's just an example of somebody who's going through that process, having relationship problems within a family, and it's all, you know, the health system and everything has had a part to play, but obviously not a very good one, because, you know, she's had a lot of things to deal with, and, you know, she's been struggling and getting a lot of negative media coverage. So, you know, she needs understanding, she needs help, she needs support, healing. Talking to someone earlier tonight, healing is going to be a big thing that everybody needs at this time, or everybody will need. So the only way you're going to help with that is to put positive things out there, stopping people from standing up for themselves. You know, it's not a positive thing, because you're stopping somebody from being themselves, or trying to stop somebody from being themselves, and it creates conflict between you and the person who thinks they've got a right to stick their nose in. So, yeah, just thought I'd put that together anyway. Peace and blessings.